Hi friends, I am Dr. B.V. Rao of Usha Clinic and founder of the websites qmedicaldoubts.blogspot.in and raghavamedicaldoubts.com. Through these videos, I am providing the basic knowledge about the commonly occurring diseases, treatment and surgery details when necessary for the medical knowledge to general people and for reference to medicals. Today I am going to discuss about the incontinence of urine. It is of two types, false incontinence and true incontinence. False incontinence. In this condition, the patient will not have control over the micturition. Small amounts of urine passes involuntarily from time to time, overflowing from the bladder which is distended to the maximum capacity. It may be followed by neglected acute or chronic retention. Treatment. It is similar to that of acute retention attempted by conservative measures as bed rest, sedation and hot bath. Next step is catheterization and decompression slowly. True incontinence. It is again of two types, so partial incontinence and complete incontinence. Partial incontinence. The patient is unable to exercise full control and pass urine without warning. It is of two types again, stress incontinence and enuresis in children. Stress incontinence. The pubococcygeal muscle plays an important role in maintaining the control of urination in women. Weakness of the muscle due to overstretching or partial tear during labor is the principal cause of stress incontinence. But the weakness of the muscle of pelvic floor in general and of this muscle sometimes occur in multipare. The acts like coughing and sneezing may be sufficient to cause leakage of urine. Treatment. Conservative treatment consists of voluntary exercises like indrawing of the perineum, tighten the urethral and rectal sphincters, carried out at regular intervals, regardless of the time and place. Paradism to pelvic musculature is also beneficial. In absence of an obvious cause requiring operative treatment on its own, like fibromyalgia, prolapse of uterus, non-operative treatment can be recommended, and if carried out conscientiously for a sufficient length of time, the results are good. Operative treatment. Anterior colporrhaphy. In case of cystocele where the patient has a considerable bulging of anterior vaginal wall, improves the continence. In absence of the cystocele, an operation to rectify sagging of the bladder neck can be undertaken in which there is a little or no improvement after a course of exercises. Everard-Williams operation for stress incontinence. It is a simple and effective than the more complicated procedures. A Foley's catheter is introduced into the bladder neck and the adjoining portion of the urethra are exposed through the retropubic root. The lower part of the bladder and the intrapelvic portion of the urethra are mobilized, but no necessity to separate the urethra from the vagina. 3 chronic catgut sutures are introduced on either side, each traveling the wall of the urethra or that of the bladder neck, being careful not to penetrate the mucous membrane. The sutures are then passed through the fascia covering the deep surface of the pelvic bone near the symphysis. When the sutures are tied, they suspend the bladder, neck and proximal urethra. Enuresis in children. Nocturnal enuresis is the continuation of the infantile bedwetting. Even after establishing of voluntary micturition, years after that also it may be started. It may be diurnal or both diurnal and nocturnal. In children who have reached 4 years or more, a cause for the voluntary micturition should be sought. Urine is examined for infection. Phimosis or Escherichia meatai should be corrected likewise uveitis or vaginitis. Radiography and excretory pylography may reveal a hydronephrosis, an ectopic ureteric orifice, or a urinary calculus. Voiding cystourethropy is valuable for detecting urethral valves. Urethroscopy sometimes shows inflammation of the verumonatum, in which case periodic dilatation with a urethral bogey is sometimes beneficial. Threadworm should be eliminated. Spina bifida and epilepsy can cause enuresis. Primary enuresis. In majority of cases, the cause is not found. It is called primary enuresis. Treatment. The importance of not relieving the bladder immediately during the daytime is explained to the child. As soon as the child can understand that an effort must be made to increase the time between the urge to micturate and voiding. The purpose is to increase the bladder capacity by such training. Belladonna containing medicines and ephedrine in small doses are given at bedtime to prevent a deep sleep. It can be continued for several weeks without harmful effect by the time the patient have learned to arise when the bladder is full. In refractory cases, child psychologist's advice may be sought. Complete incontinence. In this case, urine dribbles without full distension of the bladder. It may be due to the damage to the sphincter urethrae or a central nervous lesion affecting its nerve supply by pudendal nerve. Rupture of the urethra, difficult labor-perineal prostatectomy, retropubic prostatectomy and endoscopic retention may cause in some cases. Some cases the cause may be the organic spinal or cerebral disease, which includes the early life some form of spina bifida, in middle life disseminated sclerosis or TAPS dorsalis, late in the life cerebrovascular accidents. Appliances for relief of incontinence. In females, it is impossible to fit any apparatus to keep the patient dry. An indwelling Foley's catheter is the simple solution. Diversion of the urine is the alternatives. In males, dribble bag or incontinence clamp, if there are not acceptable, an attempt may be made to pleat the bulbocavernous muscle with silk sutures, or to pass a sling of gracilis muscle around the bulb to make a new sphincter urethra. Ileourethrostomy. The collection of the urine from an artificial labor into an ileostomy bag. If a plastic operation is performed on the ileostomy opening so as to render it support-like and covered with the skin, is watertight, then the portable urine worn over the genitalia. The incidence of pyelonephritis is so much less that the substitution of an artificial for a normal non-functioning bladder is a change for the better, not only for the patient but also for those with whom the patient lives. The operation is successful in cases of incontinence due to spina bifida. That's all about the incontinence of urine, and in the next video I will discuss about some other disease. Thank you.